Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my top 10 moments from RWBY volumes 1 through 7. So yeah, this is a list I kind of hinted at that I was planning to make in the past few weeks or something. And we're finally getting around to it. So yeah, it's pretty simple. These are my favorite moments from the entirety of the 7 volumes of RWBY that have been released. I made a list of this after volume 6. So this is kind of like an update to that list. You could go back on the channel and see the old one. This one is updated in terms of, well, I've seen RWBY again and again since then. So it's updated not only in terms of just Volume 7 stuff, but in terms of my tastes kind of changing a little bit, my tastes, my interests in certain scenes kind of switching around and whatnot. So it might not be the same, quite the same. I basically made the list over again rather than just looking at the old one and copying it and adding new stuff. So things might be switched around a little bit, yada yada. I can tell you for sure there is definitely stuff from Volume 7 on here. I won't tell you what, obviously. That will be left for the video down in the description below, by the way, itself. But there is definitely some Volume 7 stuff, and as I've made abundantly clear through my reactions to Volume 7, I do believe RWBY gets better every volume, so I do feel that Volume 7 is the pinnacle of where this series has gone. And I've also made it clear that RWBY is one of my favorite shows, period. Like, not just favorite cartoons or whatnot. It's one of my favorite shows. And that is one of the biggest reasons why, because it does keep getting better. And I don't subscribe to the entire idea a lot of RWBY fans seem to have these days, like that it was at its best in volumes 1 through 3 because it was more action-oriented and everything, and it's like, I don't believe that. I believe that starting in volume 4 when it started bringing in more story and more depth to it, which was there in volumes 1 through 3, mind you. But it definitely started becoming a bigger focus in Volume 4. I think that's when it really started hitting its stride. In fact, I think that prior to the attack on Beacon in Volume 3, RWBY was just kind of okay. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it was just kind of okay up until that point. The attack on Beacon and all of that, when all of that really started, which technically you could say really started with Yang's attack on Mercury, that changed the show notably. I mean, it was still the same show, and it definitely felt natural in its execution, but it changed it in a way that made it feel more exciting, intense, real, and part of that is because it started adding this deep story that had been built up since the beginning. It's really started to capitalize on that. So, yeah, I think I don't agree with what most, or not necessarily most, but a lot of RWBY fans say, in that it started to go downhill. I think it just continues to get better. I think every volume has been better than the last. And so Volume 7 definitely gave me some stuff to add to this list. But yeah, this is just my list. Keep that in mind. It doesn't have to be the same as yours. It's probably not going to be. There might be things that you think I left off or whatnot, and that's fine. It's all subjective. So I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. Tell me down in the comments below what your favorite moments from RWBY volumes 1 through 7 are. And hopefully when volume 8 comes this fall, it'll give us even more amazing moments to add to the list. And considering we're about to go into a war, very clearly, we're probably going to get some really good moments. Especially with everything else that happened, especially at the end of Volume 7. I mean, we have a new Winter Maiden. We have the Queen arriving. We have a lot. to discuss with that. Um, but yeah, there's a lot that Volume 8 can do. So yeah, tell me your list down below and go to the description below to check my list. It is linked to BitChute and Google Photos for copyright reasons because even Rooster Teeth has issues with that. But yeah, so thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the list.